So within the past 2 years, I have been doing a challenge for the 2D Sonic games. Even dipping into the Sonic games, I've never played past the first couple of levels. And the next Sonic game to tackle, or rather trilogy, is the Sonic Advance trilogy, starting with the first one. I've never beat any of the Advance games, so this is pretty much my first time beating those games. And I don't really have much else to say, so let's go right into it. Here is the Sonic Advance Ultimate Challenge. Ding. Oh. The rules are mostly the same. No abilities, such as the random kick you can do for some reason, the air dash, and the insta-shield is a no-go. I will allow the spin dash, unlike some other classic Sonic games, because it's usually always necessary, especially after Sonic 3. This gets more complex in Sonic Advance 2. Sonic only, which means we can't have a partner in this game, which is okay, as you have to input a cheat code for Tails, and he's kinda stupid in this one. Advance 3 will change this for the worse. No checkpoints. I can touch them, it's just that if I die, I have to restart the entire level using save states. Speaking of which, I will only use save states for that purpose, not during the level. No Chaos Emeralds, as I want to beat this game as base Sonic. And finally, I cannot kill a single enemy, which I classify as if Sonic comes into contact with them in ball form and releases an animal, and then that counts as destroying a Badnik. And the Badniks who destroy themselves don't count, as Sonic does not make direct contact with them. With all the rules out of the way, let's advance through the first game. Neo Green Hill Zone Act 1. Now this was just your pretty average Sonic grass starting level. Just hold right, then move around the Badniks and bounce around. Might sound boring right now, but this only ever really applies to the first few zones. But pretty soon enough, the level's already over. Neo Green Hill Zone Act 2. Pretty much the same thing as Act 1, except I messed up once, and then that was it. I tried again, and then moved a little more carefully this time, and eventually make it to the Eggman fight. Which, as Sonic bosses usually go, is pretty boring, and that's the first zone completed. Secret Base Zone Act 1. Zipline down to the not-so-secret base now, and then it has the same solution as most other starting Sonic Ultimate Challenge video levels, which is to hold right while navigating through obstacles and carefully moving around enemies and sparing with jumps, and the level's already done. Secret Base Zone Act 2. Like Act 1, be careful where you jump and hold whichever direction gets you deeper into the level, and then the Eggman fight is pretty much a Splats the Rabbit Badnik, but as a boss. And it was pathetic. And that's another zone cleared. Casino Paradise Zone Act 1. Goodness, reminding me of the last Sonic video with these zone arrangements. Now, this is the second to last time I say this, but this is like the last zone. But this time, there's a crap ton of gimmicks just to get Sonic around, and it's really not that hard. Casino Paradise Zone Act 2. Now, here is the final easy level. Get beat around everywhere, carefully avoid the Badniks, as they always have been the annoying Badniks. Get around the level, and we make it to the Eggman fight, and it's really challenging, honestly. It just has Sonic react quickly to hit Eggman while avoiding a bomb LARPing as Eggman. It's pretty fun. And from this point onward, this is where the challenge actually starts. Ice Mountain Zone Act 1. Now, this is the water level of this game. And while not as ridiculous as some others throughout the other games, it was the first noticeable difficulty spike. Going into the water is such a horrible idea, and if the level allows you to avoid it, avoid the water, and try to maintain the top path. Or be like me and ignore my own advice. These Badniks in tight areas suck. You have to be super careful to deal with them. And there are parts where Sonic is going through packed snow, which is annoyingly slow. So be careful with how you jump. But the level will be over after much effort. Ice Mountain Zone Act 2. Same deal as Act 1. Try to force Sonic through a higher path while damage boosting past enemies and platforming. And then the Eggman fight is one of the trickier ones where you have to platform on icicles to damage Eggman. But you're also underwater and there are no air bubbles, so you have to jump out of the water to take a breath. I did have to restart a few times because of this fight, but eventually I got past this zone. Angel Island Zone Act 1. That's odd. Is it referring to the outskirts of the Angel Island like in Sonic 3? Is it even Angel Island, or is it like the Hidden Palace case where there's two different places that just so happen to be called Angel Island? Never mind. This is the first level where Dim's favorite trap becomes a problem for this challenge. The bottomless pits. This will become a huge issue in the later games. I'm looking at you, Sonic Advance 3. There are a few gimmicks like this screw thing and the falling sand, but sooner or later this act is finished. Angel Island Zone Act 2. For some reason in this level there are these hanging gimmicks, and that's everything new I have to say about this level before talking about the boss. Oh, well, I could talk about how annoying the invincibility boxes are. I have to wait around and do nothing and wait for it to finish up so that I can continue on with the level. So just avoid them for your own sake. And eventually we make it to the Mecha Knuckles fight, which is similar to the Knuckles fight in Sonic & Knuckles and Sonic Pocket Adventure, and I was heavily relying on invincibility frames to damage Mecha Knuckles. And it got pretty intense towards the end with him shooting missiles. But Mecha Knuckles gets destroyed, and Eggman, for whatever reason, decides to use the Robot Knuckles idea less after that. Oh well, on to the final few levels. Egg Rocket Zone. Now this is the level that took me the longest to beat in this game in particular, because this level alone feels like 2 acts combined into one level. And this is the level where the no checkpoints rule stings the most. There is also 3 sets of time limits on this level, which makes things even more stressful. So real quickly, here's a step-by-step on how to clear this level. Run forward until you're forced into a cutscene with a flying rocket, and then fall down, and then force Sonic to the right with these springs, then jump along the way, then go up all these springs, and through this trampoline, and then hang on to this pole, then force way through some more springs, and grab the shield for future damage boosting if you have to. Avoid this mole badnik, and don't be like me and fall, thus having to restart this area again. Instead, jump onto this platform and then go through this pipe, and then don't force Sonic too far to the right, and then go to this spring and then ride some platforms, go through a loop and then bounce your way up, do another pole section, and then force through a cannon, and that is 1/3 of the level done. Carefully avoid the mole enemy again, and then use the springs to get higher into the level, then fall down fully, and then jump onto this ramp, and then climb to the pipe, and then bounce up to the left, then hit the spikes, then platform up to some springs, and be careful with these stupid rotating spikes, and do not go outside. Big mistake. Force way to the left of the level, as this is just one big vertical level. Bounce on the springs, and for whatever reason, spin dash through this wall, and then rush way to the final third of the level, where you have to run up many ramps, then proceed upward, use the invincibility, which is their only purpose in this challenge. Proceed with more careful platforming, then force way up to the right, and then do some platforming, and then find the right timing with the slope jump, and then jump to the right, and then we finally finished this level. This took me 45 minutes of 2 hours to complete this level alone, which is ridiculous. But that leaves us with the final few levels. Cosmic Angel Zone. Now, despite being the final main level, this level wasn't as bad as the last one, thankfully. The badniks are still annoying to avoid, and the automated sections are nice and simple. As for the reverse gravity thing, that can get annoying with how the spikes were placed. I'm convinced that the game designers decided to be assholes when it came to this. Then we make it to the Eggman fight, which was rather complicated. You have to flip this machine by jumping on this cord and then hitting Eggman as he is shooting beams. And it took me a little while to beat him. But when I beat him, I clutched it with no rings, which was a nice save. Sonic then chases Eggman to the final zone, X Zone. To end this game, we fight the Egg Wrecker and the Egg Drillster from Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 respectively. Honestly, kinda lame for the final boss. Then we make it to the final phase, in which you cannot recklessly charge into Eggman, as he will deploy his shield, and once vulnerable will use a strong arm to grab Sonic and shake him for all of his loose change. So hopefully it's tricky. Oh, it's... Oh, okay. Well, I shouldn't have expected too much anyways. Then the game ends like other 2D Sonic games that have a final Eggman fight in a space station. Eggman then tells the player while staring at their soul to collect the Chaos Emeralds, which, nope, not doing that. Hopefully Advance 2 and 3 are more interesting challenge-wise, but that was the Sonic Advance Ultimate Challenge. Now that we have completed the first of 3 original Sonic platformers on the GBA, we can say that, yes, it is possible to beat the Sonic Advance Ultimate Challenge. Now, as of recording this game out of the Advance trilogy is the least interesting one video-wise. So those videos will be releasing in the following 2 months of this video. So I am looking forward to releasing these videos out to the public. Without any further ado, I will be back next month. Dun.